Research is when those gray-haired scientists are in the labs mixing the different chemicals, and then boom, an explosion happens. Nah, well, not exactly. Research is also when you are trying to figure out which dress is better, which car is better by comparing the things like price, features, brand, and that's research too. But then there is a question that what actually makes something a research and what is specifically a medical research. So for that, let's dive into the fundamentals of research. Hi, I'm a research nerd, and in this video, we'll overview the basics and we'll go into the details in the upcoming videos. So here you go, the lessons outlines, the what is a research, what are the characteristics of research, and where does your research go when, after all, it's done, and also the types of research. So let's begin. What is research? So first, we have a very boring rut definition. Let us read that out first. That what it is. It is a systematic and scientific collection, interpretation of data undertaken to explore something new, answer unsolved questions, and provide the solutions to the problems. So basically, in our lingo, we can say that's vibing with the data, that you collect the data in a systematic way, and there are different kinds of data. We'll go into the details, and then you analyze that data, takes the results out of it, like figuring out the data that means, and the flexing the solutions to the unsolved problems. Basically, the very first step to the research is always that figuring out what actually the gap is between the already done work, and you pick that out and work with that. So it's like that. And now we're done with the definitions. So let us see what are the characteristics of research. First of all, we have a systematic, objective, empirical, ethical, and replicable. Okay, let's see in this example paper, and this paper I have just taken out a screenshot of this paper, and this is like systematic means that our research should have been written under a standard way of all the headings, and like you see there are headings of it. And then the objective means that it should have any kind of motive or rational, that why are you doing that. And it's more of the gap research, the knowledge gap we talked about before, so it's more of that. And then empirical means that it's not personally biased, it is more of based on the data, the stats over here you can see, so it's more of based on that. And then ethical means that it is usually approved. Your research beforehand should be approved by IRB, that is the institutions of review boards, and every established institution mostly have this institutional review board. And you have to get this approval when you are having any kind of interact with the people, patients, like animals, could be involving the animals too, or even the data of the patients. So you need this kind of approval. So it should be approved by the board that it's going to be the ethical way. And then the replicable means, see, I talked about the systematic, that it's systematic, it's objective, it's based on a proper data, and every methodology is explained in it, it's transparent. So if I read this paper and I just go and follow this, I will be able to replicate the similar kind of results that are available over here by these researchers. So we are done with this, the characteristics of a research. Let's move forward. Okay, where does your research go after it's done? I mean, I know that it's the like an end goal, but you must know that where the research is available in a way, that it's also available in the journals, the books, the databases, the conferences. Okay, starting with the journals, there are different kind of journals throughout the world, and of different countries. They have their own journals, their international journals too, and of different like, if for instance, if there's a gastro, they will have any other journals that will be publishing most of the gastro researches, and so on. So, and there is also a impact factor that we keep in mind when we're talking about the journals. Impact factor is actually the number that you see of the journals that's mostly available on internet. You search it, and you'll get to know that, okay, if you're talking about specific journals, so what's the impact factor of it, and what's the significance of the impact factor. It means that how, in simple words, that how reliable is that journal for reading purposes, and also kind of for the publishing purpose too. So you have to keep in mind that. And then books, it could be published as chapters of the books, and the databases. Okay, so the pictures you are seeing over here are the different databases: PubMed, Cochrane, and other with third. this this database, and we will be talking literally in very depth that how to use PubMed, because it's one of the most crucial, you can say, to the research, in learning the research. And the journals and the databases, they have a thing that they can be open access, that you could just sitting at home, you can access it without any cost. But the thing is that the other one, the closed access, you'll have to pay some money or subscribe to it, or your institution has subscribed so you can use it from their library. And then the conferences, there are a lot of conferences in different medical colleges. It could be a oral presentation, or it could be a poster presentation. So yeah, anyway that you present your abstract, there's just an initial part of the, or you can say concise part of that research to the judges or the audience over there. And after the third point, we have the, I guess this is going to be the last one, that what are the different types of research. Okay, you can see that there are mainly two types, descriptive and analytical. And in the next, I will tell you all the concise definitions of all of them. So here you go. So we're here, if you see that there is, in descriptive, we have case studies and reports, qualitative study, interview, correlational. So one of the most is like case studies, and this is the definition of case study. That is basically the doctors in their hospital settings or clinicals, they find any kind of a rare, unique case. So they work on that data and then generate a research out of it. And then analytical, we have observational and experimental. Okay, in the observational, we have the cohort, case control, and the cross-sectional. And these are the definitions. Cross-sectional is basically a snapshot of a population at any point of time, and it's mostly like showing the prevalence rather than directly a cause and effect. For the cause and effect, there are other researches to do. So we have a cohort study. Cohort study is that we follow the groups over the time, or it could be very long years, and there are like different pros and cons of the different studies that, or different types of studies we are discussing right now. And trust me that I'm going to tell all the details of every study in the upcoming videos, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so we were talking about the cohort study. So it's like it could be very long for years, and you are just following that group of people, and it could be prospective, like in the future, and then not retrospective, that you look back over the years what they did. So it's like, what are you doing? This kind of thing. And it's measures the incidence and also the risk of it. And then we have the case control study. Case and control. One group is case and the other one is the control. The case have the disease and the control do not have the disease. And we find the past exposure, and that, okay, if these people have the disease, what were they doing in the past that caused this kind of disease? For instance, it could be lung cancer. So whether the group A was doing the smoking or not. So it could be like, starts with the outcome, and then they look backward. And then we have this in analytical experimental, we have the randomized control trials and the non-randomized control trials. And I don't think so I would be discussing these in details because it's kind of a high level, but okay, for the definition's sake, it's like treatment versus placebo kind of style, and one is given, and it could be blind, like the patients do not know that whether they are going to get the treatment or whether they're going to get the placebo. Sometimes it's double blind, that even the doctor does not know that whether the patients are getting treatment or whether the patients are getting placebo. And then it's an experimental study to get the results of certain kind of treatment. So with which one is better, or how much effect does it have, like getting a good p-value. If it gets a good p-value, then it means that the treatment was actually useful. Okay, so when we talked about this all these different studies, so we need to know that which studies do have a better quality evidence, and here's the triangle or pyramid to better understand this. And the first one, like the best quality of evidence, has the systematic review and the meta-analysis. And the systematic review and meta-analysis is basically, in simple words, we can say systematic review combines all the studies, like previous studies from a certain period of time to a certain period of time. It could be studies from a certain period of time to a certain period of time. It could be like 2015 to 2025, like this, and then it combines all the results and evaluates it. And in meta-analysis is a quite different from it. It means like you mathematically analyze and evaluate it. In a sense, it also combines the previous all the studies in a certain period of time, but it involves the stats, and systematic review does not. So, and the lowest in the pyramid is case series or expert opinion, because it's like one of the unique cases. It's not like you cannot always generate a theory out of it or a knowledge out of it. So it's kind of this. So it was all about the fundamentals, and in the upcoming videos we'll be one by one getting into the details of, because research is a very vast thing and of literally of different aspects. So if you have any confusion, you can obviously comment or have until whatever it is, and I will try to cover up it. Because remember that confusion paves the way to the clarity. So stay tuned and subscribe. Bye, guys.